So hello everyone, welcome back to DMS course. So in this particular video session, I will be discussing about pigeonhole principle under module 3. What is pigeonhole principle and its basic problems? I am Mrs. Archana Pradeshni, Assistant Professor in the Department of ISC, Canada Engineering College. So let's see what is pigeonhole principle. So this concept tells that if there are m pigeons and n pigeonholes, m pigeons occupy n pigeonholes, and if m is greater than n, okay, so let's assume that there are 4 pigeonholes. Okay, there are 4 holes, pigeonholes, and this we denote it by n. Okay, and if there are m pigeons, let's say the m value should be greater than n, so let's take m is equal to 6. Okay, for time being. So if there are m pigeons to be occupied in these 4 pigeonholes, so this pigeonhole principle says that then at least 2 or more pigeons occupy the same pigeonhole. Okay, occupy the same pigeonhole. So that means at least one pigeonhole, that means at the minimum, one pigeonhole must contain 2 or more pigeons. That is if m is greater than n. So here m denotes the pigeons and n denotes the pigeonholes. So if the number of holes are less and if there are more pigeons to be occupied, so then at least one hole will contain 2 or more pigeons. So that is the pigeonhole principle. So let's take n is equal to 4 pigeonholes and m represents the number of pigeons here. So if there are 6 pigeons and 6 pigeons are to be occupied in these 4 pigeonholes, okay, I'll represent it by a dot. So you can observe that 4 are already occupied, still 2 are remaining to be occupied out of 6 pigeons, right? So these will be at least here, in one hole, or you can observe this another pigeon can also lie over here. So at least one pigeonhole, at the minimum one pigeonhole will contain 2 or more pigeons. So that is the concept of pigeonhole principle. So the application of this lies in, you can look into the problems, you will find out in how many applications it can be used. Okay, this concept of pigeonhole principle is very useful in the real life. So we'll see the formula that is associated with this pigeonhole principle. So if m pigeons occupy n pigeonholes, and then at least one pigeonhole must contain p plus 1 or more pigeons. So if we can say that the total number of pigeons will be less than or equal to n into p. Okay, so where n represents the pigeonholes and p represents the pigeons. So, okay, the total number of pigeons is less than or equal to n into p, where n represents the pigeonholes and p represents the pigeons. And we can say that this is less than or equal to, the formula for p is actually floor value of m minus 1 by n. This is the floor value. This represents the largest, greatest integer. Okay, so if I have got in this value, if I have got 4.1, so this is rounded off to 4. Okay, the floor value, lowest integer value. So p is nothing but m minus 1 by n, the floor value of m minus 1 by n. Okay, so this represents the pigeons. How many pigeons? So let's see a particular problem associated with this approach. So you can observe that the question says ABC is an equilateral triangle whose sides are of length 1 centimeter each. Okay, if we select 5 points inside the triangle, so let us draw the triangle ABC first. Clear? So this is our triangle. So it says that ABC is an equilateral triangle. That means all have the same length, that is 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter each. So if we select 5 points inside the triangle, okay, we need to select 5 points, but the condition is that at least 2 of these points such that distance between them is less than half centimeter. Okay, we need to prove this. The 5 points, in that selection of 5 points, at least 2 of them will be less than half centimeter. So how we can prove this is actually, let us consider a triangle DEF, okay, the formed by the midpoints. Let us consider triangle DEF formed by the midpoints of this larger triangle ABC. So let us consider the triangle D, E and F. Okay, D, E and F formed by the midpoints of BC, CA and AB. Okay, so now ABC, the entire triangle, is partitioned into 4 such equilateral triangles. 4 such equilateral triangles, and you know that equilateral triangles means they are all length has got length is same for all the triangles. So here you can observe that this is half centimeter, this will be half centimeter, this is also half centimeter, half centimeter. So each side is half centimeter. Now treating each of these 4 portions, okay, let us take this 4, n is equal to 4. Treating these 4 portions as pigeonholes, and we have to put 5 points, right? So 5 points, let us take this as pigeons. So treating these 4 portions as pigeonholes and 5 points as pigeons. So we can derive by pigeonhole principle that see, this is the formula m minus 1 by n, so which is nothing but 5 minus 1 by 4 or 1. But according to pigeonhole principle, if m pigeons occupy n pigeonholes, m pigeons, that means the points here, 5 points are to be occupied, right? So it is not possible to put all the 5 points. First of all, basically we put all the 4 points, then we can put any one point in any one of the squares, in any of the triangles. And so what we infer is that in a particular triangle we get 2 points and their distance is obviously less than half, correct? So that is what we have proved. So at least 2 of these points are such that the distance between them is less than half. So we have also got this by our pigeonhole principle. So according to pigeonhole principle, if m pigeons occupy n pigeonholes, so here if 5 points, okay, occupy these 4 triangles which are nothing but of pigeonholes, then at least one pigeonhole will have p plus 1 or more pigeons, right? So at least one pigeonhole, according to this, at least one triangle will have got p plus 1. What is the value of p here? We have obtained 1. So at least one pigeonhole will have 2 or more pigeons, correct? So we have got here 2. So and the question also says the same. So we have proved that at least 2 of these points are said that distance between them is less than half centimeter. Okay, this is evident from this question. So let's move to the next problem. So in the next problem, they have given you 30 dictionaries. Okay, we need to prove that these 30 dictionaries contain a total of 61,327 pages, and we have to prove that at least one of the dictionaries must have at least 2045 pages. Okay, 2045 pages. So we know that in a dictionary there will be several pages, Okay, several pages, and all these pages lie in the dictionary. So let us treat these pages as pigeons and number of dictionaries as pigeonholes. Okay, so what will be our value of m? M will be 61,327, and the value of n, which is pigeonhole, is 30. So as per the pigeonhole principle, we have to calculate how many pigeons. Okay, how many pigeon or what is the value of p if we take m minus 1 by n, or it is nothing but 61,327 minus 1 by 30. So we get at around 2044.2. It's a floor value. So which we can conclude at the highest range 2044 itself. But according to pigeonhole principle, if there are m pigeons and n pigeonholes, and there will be at least one pigeonhole which contain p plus 1 or more pigeons. So at least one pigeonhole, according to this, at least one dictionary. So we have proved that at least one dictionary will have 2044 plus 1, that is 2045 pages. So that is what we have to write. So at least one dictionary will have 2045 pages. So what is our question? So at least one dictionary must have at least 2045 pages. That is what we have proved, right? So first of all, you need to understand what is the value of m, which we can take it as m. Usually m value is greater than n. So we can take that as m and the left out as n. So we have to first calculate what is m and what is n, and then apply the pigeonhole principle, and then give the clear statement of pigeonhole principle like this. Okay. So next, let's see another question related to the same. So this concept is about colors used to paint doors. So if we have got 5 colors, okay, if we have got 5 colors and they are used to paint 26 doors, by this it is clear the m value should be always greater than n. So we have to prove that at least 6 doors will have the same color. So now let's decide what is m and what is m. So you can write it in statement: treating 26 doors as pigeons and 5 colors as pigeonholes. So we can write directly m is 26 and n is 5. Okay. So we find that by pigeonhole principle, at least one pigeonhole, that is at least one color, or in the sense the same color can be applied to how many doors, that is what we have to prove, or how many doors will have the same color. Okay. So according to pigeonhole principle, I will calculate the value of the pigeons. So it is m minus 1 by n, which is nothing but 26 minus 1 by 5 over here. So we get it as 5, I will write directly, okay, 5 plus 1, that is, why I am writing plus 1 is actually, from this we get just 5, okay, but according to pigeonhole principle, at least one pigeonhole must occupy p plus 1 or more pigeons. At least one pigeonhole must occupy p plus 1 or more pigeons. That is, at least one door will have 6. At least what is a pigeonhole here? Pigeonhole is color, right? So at least one color will be applied to 6 doors. So pigeons, according to pigeons here, we have used doors. So at least one color or at least the same color will be applied to 6 doors, correct? So we can write that in terms of statements. The only thing, if you understand the concept, you can write clearly in terms of statements. So by pigeonhole principle, at least one of the colors can be assigned to 6 doors. So this is what we have to prove. We can also verify, prove that at least 6 doors will have the same color. Okay, coming to the next problem. So find the least number of ways of choosing 3 different numbers from 1 to 10 so that all choices have the same sum. Okay, all choices have the same sum. First of all, we need to identify the range from 1 to 10. Okay, how we can select any numbers or 3 numbers from 1 to 10? We can select 3 numbers from 1 to 10 just by having the combination of 10, 3, is it not? So, which is around 120. Okay, so this is the total number of ways of selecting 3 from this range 1 to 10. So next, what is the, we have to calculate the sum, okay, sum by taking just 3 numbers. So you can observe that the smallest sum or smallest possible sum we can get is, we start from 1 plus 2 plus 3, just taking 3 at a time. The smallest sum we get is 6, and the largest possible sum we get is, you can take the last 3 digits, 8 plus 9 plus 10, which is around 27. So this is the lowest possible sum, this is the largest possible sum. So we have to find how many numbers are there or how many sums are there. So these sums actually vary from 6 to 27 inclusive. So you find out how many numbers are there. 6 to 27 means 22 numbers are there, right, or 22 sums are there. When you just count from 6 to 27, so there are 22 such numbers out of 120 numbers. So we have to select in such a way that we have to find out the number of choices which are having the same sum. So let us apply pigeonhole principle, where m is 120 here, n is 22. So we have to calculate what is p, m minus 1 by n, the floor value, which is nothing but 120 minus 1 by 22. So what do we get is, and again you can directly write this is plus 1, okay, directly you can write plus 1. Why? Because we need to find out for at least one pigeonhole contains p plus 1 or more pigeons. So this is around 6.4, we can approximate it to 6 as per the floor value. So at least one pigeonhole will occupy 6 pigeons. So according to this, what is the concept of pigeonhole? Pigeonhole is nothing but referred to as a sum. Okay, so we can say that at least one sum or at least the same sum will be occupied by what is m. Instead of pigeons we have got m here. So what can we relate as m here? The total number of choices. So 6, you can say that the least number of ways is 6. You can know 6 choices will have the same sum. Okay, so 6 choices will have the same sum, or 6 number of ways of choosing 3 different numbers, such that all choices have the same sum. So this is the value or the least number of ways in which we can have all the choices having the same sum. Okay, so quite a different problem, however you need to understand it very clearly. So coming to the next problem, prove that every set of 37 positive integers contains at least 2 integers that leave the same remainder upon division by 36. Okay, prove that every set of 37 positive integers. So what is that? We need to check for 37 positive integers, and we need to find out upon division by 36 what are the remainders possible. See, whenever a positive integer is divisible or it is divided by 36, the possible remainders are either you will get a 0, or you may get 1, or you may get 2, and so on up till 35, right? Remainders, correct? So let us denote this AR as the set of all positive integers, that leave the remainder R when divided by 36. Okay, that leave the remainder R when divided by 36. So AR denotes the set of all positive integers that leave the remainder R when divided by 36. Okay, so now when we can say that every positive integer, they belong to either of these 36 sets, right? So any number, if you take it, if it is divisible by 36, it belongs to one of these remainders. Now if we check for, or if we take 37 positive integers, so here for 36 positive integers, you can observe, that means if we start from 0, start dividing by 36, the remainders are 0, then again 1, if you, then so on up till 35. So okay, so totally 36 numbers are there, and once again if you start dividing 36 by 36, you get what, 1, 0 as a remainder, right? You get 0 as a remainder. And next, if you take the 37 positive integers, so that means according to the question, they have asked you to take 37 positive integers. So if you take 37 positive integers, or in the sense, if you take the value 36, if you want to divide it by 36, obviously the remainder is 0, right? So hence it falls into the same category of the set which is already taken. So accordingly, as per the question, it is very clear that if we take the next 37 positive integers, it contains at least 2 integers that leave the same remainder. Okay, same remainder. That means all the remainders lie in the range if you take for the next 37 positive integers. So this proves the result. So at least 2 of them actually will leave the same remainder. So coming to the next concept. Okay, so we have finished off with pigeonhole principle. So in the next video session, you will look into the concept of composition of functions.